A judge who put a teen in handcuffs during a field trip is back on the bench, but not the same one.
Detroit Judge Kenneth King has been bumped down to the traffic division. He had been removed from his courtroom duties after ordering 15-year-old Eva Goodman into jail clothes and handcuffs when she fell asleep during a live stream field trip. The incident sparking outrage. The teen's mother suing for over $75,000, claiming emotional distress. King has publicly apologized for his actions.
ABC's Dave Packer. People in an Aurora, Colorado apartment complex, the center of a politically charged conspiracy theory, are pleading with the city not to shut it down.
The Whispering Pines apartments are known globally now because of false claims that they were being run by a Venezuelan gang. The claims were repeated by former President Trump. Police and even the Republican mayor debunked those claims. The actual problem, the city says, is a landlord has abandoned the complex and it's full of trash, broken windows, and other safety problems. Residents, many of whom are from Venezuela, chanting, "We are not criminals."
No somos criminales.
The city says it's working to hold the landlord accountable. Alex Stone, ABC News.
The Minnesota Secretary of State's office was evacuated today after it received a suspicious package. The return address was the United States Traitor Elimination Army, similar to mailings containing white powder sent to at least 21 other states in recent weeks. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
News Talk 610 AM and 102.1 FM. KVNU.
Good afternoon. I'm Will Theorite with your KVNU News Update as we have sunny, clear skies outside the KVNU studios and some really nice weather coming forward the weekend as temperatures could be once again breaking a few records over the next couple of days. I'll get to your weather forecast in just a minute as the news this hour is brought to you by Mount Logan Laundry. Well, law enforcement continuing to work a crime scene investigation after a man's body was discovered this morning in Logan Canyon. Now, the body was found around 8:30 in the Franklin Basin parking lot. Now, Cache County Sheriff Chad Jensen said a hunter found the body while walking in the area and asked other people to call 911. Now, deputies and paramedics were dispatched to the area and confirmed the victim was deceased. Investigators from the state crime lab have also been called in to help. Jensen said Franklin Basin parking lot has been closed while investigators gather evidence from the scene. It may remain closed into the weekend. Now, Franklin Basin Road remains open to accommodate hunters and racers with the Bear 100. The victim's identity is not being released pending the ongoing investigation. Jensen said, though, there's no evidence at this point to believe the public is in any danger. Well, coming up, officials are investigating a fatal road rage incident that happened near Jordanelle State Park. I'll have that for you coming up next as we look at your weather forecast, calling for clear skies to continue as we're going to be right around 87 for our high today. Tonight we'll drop into the mid-40s and then 89 for tomorrow, high 80s again for Sunday, low 80s coming for the first of next week. And it looks like it's going to remain clear at least through the next several days as this high-pressure system continues to sit over much of Utah. Well, don't forget, when it comes to insuring your business, it can be frustrating at times, and that's why you want to call Matt Robbins with Quality First Insurance. He'll get back with you with all of the different insurance carriers that can give you options to protect your business. Give him a call at 752-0101. Well, the body of a 61-year-old man was discovered just outside Jordanelle State Park yesterday, with the Wasatch County Sheriff's Office believing that the death could be related to a road rage incident. Now, officials said the body was located on the shoulder of the road outside of a car in the Rose Creek Trailhead area near the state park. The road rage incident occurred late Wednesday night. Now, while a suspect is still at large, there is not to believe to be any imminent threat to the public. And this month, the federal government announced funding for next year's wildfire management, totaling over $236 million. Now, experts hope that threatened communities in the West receive some of those funds. Now, money from the bipartisan infrastructure law will be used to help reduce wildfire risk, while improving firefighter training, rehabilitating burned areas, and advancing research, according to the Interior Department. Now, those focus areas are partly based on a report last year by the Wildland Fire Mitigation and Management Commission, with 148 recommendations on how the U.S. can approach fires more effectively. Now, Commission member Kimoko Barrett says that the recommendations build off of one another, but the federal government has focused on some areas more than others.
Surprising that some of the policy is cherry-picking those recommendations that seem to be easiest or more reasonable given the time constraints of the current administration.
Now, the U.S. House of Representatives will consider a bipartisan bill this month called the Fix Our Forests Act. Well, you can get more on these and other stories at CacheValleyDaily.com as the KVNU For the People show is coming up next. I've got another check of your local news coming up at the bottom of the hour.
Hi there. We're your new neighbors, the Voles. I'm Horrible, and this is my wife, Terrible. Hi! It's been such a great summer, we gotta have an army of children. Now we're fixing to tear up your yard. The only warning sign of us is some surface tunneling holes, and then boom! Yard death. What do you think? Should we get started, Ma? Yep. These guys aren't going to call the troops at Logan Extermination.
Voles are a problem. They can tear up your lawn and garden. But there is something you can do. Call Logan Extermination at 752-8450.
Your station for the Aggies. News Talk KVNU, 102 FM, 610 AM. And on Alexa, Google, online, or the KVNU mobile app.
Utah's at a crossroads. The surging economy of the last decade is not today's reality. Cache Valley is feeling the effects of rising housing costs, stagnant wages, and skyrocketing energy prices. This is not acceptable, and I know we can do better. I'm Jason Thompson, and as a successful business owner, proven job creator, and experienced city mayor, I know what it takes to ensure that Utah is heading in the right direction. But I can't do it alone. I need your vote this November. At electjasonThompson.com, learn how together we can keep Utah heading in the right direction.
Paid for by the Committee to Elect Jason Thompson.
Whether you're a farmer working the fields, a homeowner tackling weekend projects, or a contractor building the next big thing, you need a Kubota machine that works as hard as you do. And Cache Equipment is home to all your Kubota equipment, service, and parts needs. From plowing fields and clearing land to digging trenches and moving material. Come see why Cache Equipment and Kubota are the choice of champions on the farm, at home, and on the job site. Cache Equipment in Hyde Park and online at CacheEquipment.com.
Make plans to attend the 3rd Annual Northern Utah Manufacturing Excellence Conference on Wednesday, October 9th. Collaborate with manufacturing leaders and resource experts, enjoy lunch, and a keynote from Paul Nelson, who leads engineering digital transformation for the space system sector at Northrop Grumman. When we strengthen Utah manufacturing, we strengthen Utah's economy. Register today for the annual New Me Conference on October 9th from 8 to 1 at the Cache County Event Center at CacheChamber.com. That's CacheChamber.com.
Weather changes are tough on your transmission. As we move to colder winter weather, AMCO Transmission invites you to bring your vehicle in for preventative maintenance before the snow flies. Have a diesel pickup, Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke? AMCO in Logan is your transmission specialist, and they promise to get you in quickly. For over 50 years, AMCO Total Car Care has been experts in repair for transmission, brakes, tune-ups, and more. Find your local AMCO. 75 East, 2000 North, 752-1940.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Monday on This Morning, America's First News, the aftermath of Hurricane Helene after the massive storm pummeled the southeast and left millions flooded and without electricity. Also, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are trying to define what it means to be a man in America. Hear how both want the bro vote. And how flight attendants tell the guy in 22C that he's had enough to drink. Monday on This Morning, America's First News. Monday morning from 4 to 6 on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM and 102 FM.
KVNU's For the People with Jason Williams and Bill Walter.
And it is Utah known as the fraud capital of the world. Not because we have more people committing fraud, but because we have so many people falling for it.
Going beneath the headlines and connecting you to the newsmakers.
The radio is a great way to get the word out to a lot of people in an emergency, so we thank you for your help and being a partner with us.
For the people on News Talk KVNU, 610 AM, 102.1 FM, online at 610kvnu.com, and on the KVNU mobile app.
Welcome to KVNU's For the People. It is Friday, September 27th. I'm Jason Williams. Coming up on the show today, an extended For the People movie show. Andy Morgan will be with us a bit early later on this hour to kick things off. Continuing our fall movie preview, we've got finally new movies in theaters, actually, after a couple of weeks of low-key or no premieres. We've got some big ones. So we'll be talking about that in hour two and a little bit before hour two as Andy arrives early today. That's coming up later on. Kicking things off here this hour, though, a very special guest joining us to talk about an upcoming event next week, Tuesday, October 1st at 6:30 p.m. CAPSA and Cache Valley Bank and the county and others involved in setting up a Light the Night event, a special lighting ceremony sponsored by Cache Valley Bank to kick off Domestic Violence Awareness Month. October is nationally Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we'll speak more with CAPSA directly later on in the month. But here to talk a little bit about this event that has been put together next Tuesday that you can be a part of, we have joining us now from the Cache County Council, Kathryn Bues. And Kathryn, appreciate taking some time for KVNU to do this, especially listeners don't know this, but on short notice, we literally just talked a few minutes ago about doing this today. Glad you were able to. This is a unique way to get people thinking and talking about Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Tell us how Light the Night is going to work.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. We're going to have an event on Tuesday at the county courthouse. And it's going to be, we're calling it Light the Night. And purple is the color that is designated to raise the awareness. And we're going to have purple lights, and all of downtown businesses are going to be either putting the purple on their storefronts or putting lights out kind of to signify their support and helping to raise awareness for domestic violence abuse and to just make sure that we can raise the awareness all around that this is a problem, and we'd like to help the survivors of that and help to make sure that we can curb any of that in our community. So on Tuesday at 6:30, there will be an event where we will have live music and snacks. Cache Valley Bank is sponsoring this along with CAPSA, and the event will have some speakers, but mostly we're just trying to get people together and join in this movement.
This is, Kathryn, when we've spoken with CAPSA before, I think, most people out there listening, myself included, until I learned otherwise, when we think about domestic violence and Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I think most people think, that's something that happens to other people. That's something that happens, tragically on a regular basis, but it's somewhere else or it's few and far between. But statistically speaking, odds are everyone listening right now, whether you know it or not, knows someone who has or is in some way experiencing violence at home. It might be someone you work with, might be someone in your neighborhood, it might be a relative or a friend. But statistically speaking, that is the case, right? We all know someone, even if we don't know, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, it is the case. And I think as CAPSA is such a great resource, we want to shine light on the resources that we have available here in our community for those that do suffer from that. And we want to let them know that we do believe them, right? That's the first step, is to tell people that we do believe them if they are suffering from that.
Sure. And Domestic Violence Awareness Month, again, kicks off on Tuesday, October 1st, and runs throughout the month of October. And Cache County, Cache Valley Bank, and CAPSA getting together for this Domestic Violence Awareness Month kickoff on October 1st. Again, 6:30 p.m., Light the Night. This is an event at the Cache County Courthouse. with live music, refreshments, activities for the family. And in conjunction with this, downtown businesses will be illuminating their storefronts with the color purple to raise awareness and get the community, encouraging the community to show their support for CAPSA, to talk about and think about domestic violence in our communities and ways we can prevent that. Kathryn, you mentioned this, but CAPSA is a great resource. And for listeners, CAPSA.org, the website you want to visit, they have some resources for the community as well. They do trainings in classrooms and businesses. You can request that CAPSA come down and do a training in your business to help you know what to do if a friend or family member comes to you and says, I'm experiencing this, but also how to spot some of the signs that someone might be experiencing it, because sometimes just asking someone, hey, are you okay? Everything all right at home? That might be all someone needs to ask for help. So check into CAPSA.org for a lot of these resources. If you are out there and you are experiencing domestic violence, or you know someone who is, you can also reach out to CAPSA via a 24/7 hotline listed right there on their homepage, CAPSA.org. Again, Kathryn Bues of the Cache County Council joining us to talk about this. And Light the Night is next Tuesday, October 1st, starting at 6:30 p.m. with a ceremony and events with live music and more at the courthouse. And who's playing as far as the live music goes, Kathryn?
We just have a compilation of some local artists.
Oh, very nice. This is, similar to, I remember last month we were talking about the Ignite the Light event that the county also sponsors, and similar to the theme of that event with domestic violence. It's difficult sometimes to talk about these issues in a celebratory way, and obviously domestic violence is not to celebrate, but the celebration of Light the Night is an excuse to get everybody out and in that more lighthearted, fun environment talk, right?
Right. Just awareness, just raising awareness about it, getting people together, gathering people and is our key, right? Gathering people together to raise awareness.
Sure. And for those out there listening who maybe can't attend Tuesday night but want to show their own support, are there ways they can do that?
Definitely. And CAPSA has so many resources and so many options. I just encourage everyone to go to their website and see how they can lend their support.
Sure. CAPSA offers opportunities to volunteer. You can obviously, if you have the big donate button there on their website, support them financially. You would be surprised. CAPSA wins awards for this, by the way, how they spend their money. Every year they are top in Utah for nonprofits as far as fiscal responsibility and financial management. But you would be amazed what CAPSA can do with $10. It's amazing, right?
We truly are fortunate to have this resource in our community.
Sure. CAPSA.org again for more information. And the event next Tuesday, October 1st, 6:30 p.m., Light the Night, a special lighting ceremony. Again, this is Cache County working with sponsor Cache Valley Bank and CAPSA for this Domestic Violence Awareness Month kickoff event, 6:30 p.m. next Tuesday at the Cache County Courthouse. And the event will include live music, as Kathryn has told us, refreshments, activities for the family, and all of this kicking off Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which we'll be talking about more in October here on the show. Again, Kathryn Bues of the Cache County Council, appreciate taking some time for us today, and even more so appreciate that the county is involved in this, the Cache Valley Bank stepped up to sponsor, and that it's happening, because this is important that we talk about this in our community, because it is in our community. And Kathryn, thank you for taking some time for KVNU today.
Thank you, Jason.
Our pleasure. And to our listeners, thank you for taking some time for KVNU today, too. Stick with us. More to come right after this.
Bank of Utah says thank you. Thanks to those who voted for Bank of Utah in the Best of Northern Utah contest, their third gold medal in a row for Best Bank in Northern Utah. Whether you need a personal checking or savings account, need to finance your dream business, auto or home, or are looking for wealth management or investment services, Bank of Utah is your bank. Find out how Bank of Utah can serve you by going to bankofutah.com. Member FDIC and MLS number 422914.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived in Philadelphia. Local time is 3:05 p.m. and the temperature is 67 degrees. At this time, you are now free to use your cellular devices.
You know that feeling when you get to turn your phone on after the plane lands? You can have that feeling every time you drive. Make sure your cell phone is stowed away whenever you are behind the wheel.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Hello?
Man, where are you? I thought you were coming.
I can't. I'm in bed with the flu.
The flu? Whoa. Grandma's about to crowd surf. Man, I'll call you back.
Don't get stuck at home with the flu. A flu shot is safe, effective, and you can get it at the same time as your COVID-19 vaccine. A flu shot is the best way to prevent the flu and its potentially serious complications. Don't get flu FOMO. Learn more at getmyflushot.org.
Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
Coming up on the Monday edition of the Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show, just over a month out from Election Day, my friends, we'll take a look at all of the latest numbers and get a deep dive going for how it's looking not just for President Trump, but also control of the Senate, control of the House, absolutely critical. And speaking of the Senate, Marsha Blackburn, the great senator from Tennessee, will be with us to talk about the border and more on Clay and Buck.
10 to 1 on News Talk KVNU, 102 FM and 610 AM.
Welcome back to KVN News for the People. Thanks again to Kathryn Bues, Cache County Council member, speaking to us there at the start of the show about Ignite the Light. Similar to I messed him up. Similar to the county's Ignite the Light event, which has already come and gone back in September to raise awareness about suicide in our community and to connect people with suicide prevention resources. This event, Light the Night, is also county-sponsored alongside Cache Valley Bank and CAPSA, organizing the event to raise awareness, kicking off Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So one more time, that is next Tuesday, October 1st, 6:30 p.m., Light the Night at the Cache County Courthouse, live music, food, activities for the family, all of this to kick off, again, Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And then in conjunction with this, since this is an awareness event, all downtown businesses will be lighting their storefronts with purple, the designated color of Domestic Violence Month. And there are other ways the community will be encouraged and even taught how to show your support literally and just visibly by wearing purple all month long. If you have a business and have the ability to do so, you can also, even if you're not downtown, light your storefront with purple. All of this gets people thinking and talking about something. Again, I mentioned this while we were speaking with Kathryn. Didn't want to spend a lot of time with it since she was with us as a guest, but if you want to see the statistics we discussed, again, statistically speaking, I know we all think this. I did. When someone would bring up domestic violence, I would think, a couple of the misconceptions we all have. One, that it's always women. Not the case. It's children. It's men. It can come about subtly. It can come about brazenly. But what we do know, what is a guarantee, sadly, is that statistically speaking, you know someone. You might not know it. They might not have talked to you about it. You may have no idea who it is, but statistically speaking, odds are someone in your life, at least one person in your life right now, is experiencing domestic violence. Again, it's impossible for anything to be otherwise when you see the numbers. And if you'd like to see some of that research, CAPSA has it linked on their homepage at CAPSA.org. While you're there, you can also make a donation to CAPSA. They are, again, one of the most heralded nonprofits in Utah for their financial management, where the money goes, basically, and the percentage of the money that goes directly to their services. CAPSA is a lot more than an emergency shelter. We've talked about that many times here on the show when we've had representatives of CAPSA joining us. That's probably one of the key things they supply is that emergency shelter for someone, trying to escape a situation where domestic violence is an issue. But they also have the 24-hour support line, 753-2500, advocacy and support services, 24-hour response team if necessary. They offer long-term and short-term therapy services, which comes up a lot when they're dealing with a family and with children who have witnessed domestic violence, which can be traumatizing for a child of any age, even a teen. And then they do offer direct services for children as well, including working with other nonprofits, the Family Place and places like that, for temporary housing and all the adjustments that might be necessary. So CAPSA.org, you'd be amazed what they can do with a $10 donation. And again, October 1st kicks off Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Also, if you're a business owner out there, CAPSA is a full domestic violence support center and service provider for Cache Valley and the Bear Lake area. So if you're interested, you can work with CAPSA, reach out to CAPSA, and they'll actually send a team of trained advocates and do sort of a class at your business. They've done this in schools as well, and they've done this with large groups. There was a business conference several years ago over in Box Elder County at Maddox that CAPSA did a full-on training for all of the startup and small business owners in attendance on how to be an advocate for domestic violence awareness and prevention, but also some simple things, how to spot what can be signs that a person, if not domestic violence, that there is something serious going on at home. And sometimes CAPSA has reminded us often here in the studio, just asking someone, hey, everything all right at home? If you are trained to spot some of those signs, or even if you're not and you just get a feeling that something might be going on, sometimes just asking a person, is everything all right at home, starts a conversation in which you could save a life of an adult or a child. Because domestic violence, one other thing we know about domestic violence is a large percentage of the situations that begin with domestic violence end with, a tragic loss of life. That is a common thing that it seems to go hand in hand with these types of situations. So if it escalates and escalates. So what CAPSA does is very important, but they can't do it without community support. So get out, show your support on October 1st at the Ignite the Light event at the Cache County Courthouse starting at 6:30. And also, how can you say no to free entertainment and free food, right? They'll have refreshments. They'll have live bands. They have live art. Well, I think one of them's a band. The others are musicians and artists from around the valley. They have CAPSA will be there, of course. The county putting this together, working with CAPSA, sponsored by Cache Valley Bank, and a great way to kick off the month. So, and then watch for those downtown businesses to light their storefronts with purple throughout the month of October to keep all of us talking about this, because that does help. One more time, CAPSA.org is CAPSA's website where you can find out more about the services they offer, how you can be involved and be informed yourself about preventing domestic violence or spotting it. Some of that information and training is available right there on their website. And then, of course, if you're out there, know someone or you yourself are experiencing domestic violence, 753-2500 is CAPSA's 24-hour support phone line. They have a 24-hour support team. They can help with temporary housing and placement inside and outside of their own shelter. They can also be a huge tool for law enforcement in a situation where someone needs to get out of a bad situation. So CAPSA.org again, and even if all you can do is make a $5, $10 donation, it really does help. And we'll talk more about Domestic Violence Prevention Month, Awareness Month, in October with various guests throughout the month. So thanks again to Kathryn Bues for joining us. And CAPSA.org, one more time, is the website where you'll find that 753-2500 24-hour support line and connection with all of their resources. And we'll be back with more of KVN News for the People right after this look at the news with KVN News. Will Phil Wright.
Listen, the news this hour is brought to you by Roof Rescue. During their upcoming general session, Utah lawmakers may be deciding whether to ban cell phone use in public school classrooms during school hours. Now, that would be the impact of a proposal dubbed Devices in Public Schools. It's being sponsored by Senator Lincoln Fillmore and Representative Douglas Welton and is now pending in the legislature. Now, Fillmore said the goal of the legislation is to empower school districts, teachers, and students to create a more focused and productive learning environment. Through this effort, teachers can focus more on teaching and less on being cell phone police. Now, Governor Spencer Cox had said previously that he would support a ban on cell phones in kindergarten through 12th grade classrooms, provided there are exceptions in case of emergencies. Well, a man was found dead in the sleeper cab of a semi-truck along I-80 in Tooele County. Utah Highway Patrol troopers found the man at around 10 a.m. yesterday morning. Police were notified of the incident when the man's co-worker noticed his GPS not moving and went to check on him. Now, they found him dead, according to police. The death is suspicious in nature, and police suspect foul play. Officials said the State Bureau of Investigation is looking into the incident. And students were kept inside at a Utah County elementary school after reports of a mountain lion that was seen nearby. Officers responded to the reports yesterday at Lehigh Elementary School. Sergeant Levi Lewis with the Lehigh Police Department said officers were not able to find the animal, and they could not find any evidence of the cougar to track where it may have gone. Now, the Alpine School District Communications Director, Dr. Rich Stowell, said that the students were kept inside during recess just as a precaution. And, of course, a crime scene investigation is still being worked up in Logan Canyon after a body was found this morning by a hunter in the Franklin Basin parking lot. Now, the parking lot has been closed, and sheriff's deputies say that they may keep that parking lot closed into this weekend as they continue to process that crime scene. But Sheriff Chad Jensen, in an update just last hour, said there does not appear to be any threat to the public, but the death is suspicious and they are continuing to investigate. Well, weather-wise, clear skies continuing through the rest of the afternoon as temperatures staying right in the high 80s today. Tonight we'll drop into the mid-40s overnight and then be back into the high 80s for the weekend. And by next week, we'll get back into the lower 80s. I'm Will Feelwright with your KVNU News Update.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. What was Hurricane Helene is now a bunch of thunderstorms from about Memphis to Virginia Beach, leaving at least 40 deaths in Florida and the southeast, over 3.5 million power outages, and a lot of flooding and other destruction. As he left Air Force One at Delaware's Dover Air Force Base, ABC's Karen Travers asked President Biden about the Israeli or IDF air attack on Beirut, in which the leader of Hezbollah was targeted.
Still gathering information. I can tell you the United States had no knowledge of or participation in the IDF action. We're gathering more information. I'll have more to say when we have more information.
Lebanon's health ministry says several people were killed and dozens more hurt. A federal grand jury has indicted 3 Iranian hackers in the theft and peddling of materials stolen from a Trump campaign advisor. Not guilty, the plea from New York City Mayor Eric Adams at his arraignment, accused of accepting more than $100,000 in improper benefits. This is ABC News.
Roof Rescue is your local roof specialist, dedicated to keeping your home safe and dry no matter the weather. Their team of experienced roofers is here to serve you, providing top quality service at affordable prices. From minor repairs to complete roof replacements, they've got you covered. Remember, your roof is your first line of defense in protecting your family from the elements. So don't wait until the next storm to discover your roof problems. Call Roof Rescue today at 435-999-4268. They're your trusted local roofing experts, here to keep your home safe and dry. Roof Rescue, celebrating 10 years of providing watertight peace of mind.
This is Branch Office Administrator Bobby Bedrero bringing you the daily financial market report on behalf of Financial Advisor Clayton McMurdy and Edward Jones. Today's personal consumption expenditures data showed that inflation continues to trend in the right direction, lower. Headline PCE rose by 2.2% year over year in August, slightly below expectations and the lowest reading since February 2021. Core PCE, which excludes the volatile food and energy components, rose by 2.7% year over year, in line with consensus expectations, while the monthly gain of 0.1% was below expectations for a 2% gain. The August data brought the 3-month annualized change in core PCE to 2.06%, in line with the Fed's 2% inflation target for the second month in a row. Looking into which components drove the favorable August readings, goods prices outright deflated, falling by 0.2% in August and declining for the fourth consecutive month. Services prices rose by 0.2% in August, with the housing inflation continuing to run stubbornly high, rising by 0.5% for the month. Overall, today's reading showed that inflation continues to move in the right direction and is consistent with the Fed's decision to shift its focus to the employment side of its dual mandate, stable prices and maximum employment. Today, U.S. equities closed higher. The Dow closed up 138 points. The NASDAQ closed down 71 points. The S&P 500 closed down 7 points. And in the bond market, 10-year Treasury yields are trading at 3.76% lower by negative 0.04 percentage points. This has been today's financial market report, brought to you on behalf of Edward Jones, member SIPC, and financial advisor Clayton McMurdy, serving individual investors with personalized attention and financial advice at 1309 North Main in Logan. If you would like additional information, please contact our branch office at 435-753-0537. Daily commentary is also located on our website at edwardjones.com.
Hey, get prepared for the hunting season. Did you remember to bring your hunting gear, your sleeping bags, and coats into Mount Logan Laundry? With their 55 and 80-pound washers and dryers, they can do any job. And while you're at it, bring in the comforters and blankets and get ready for the colder months ahead. Try Mount Logan Laundry. For a few quarters, you can use their large-capacity washers and dryers and be done in no time. Free Wi-Fi and drop-off service. They're at the corner of 5th East and 9th North in Logan, or in Brigham on the corner of 1st East and 7th South. Mount Logan Laundry really is the cleanest spot in town.
Hey drivers, let's face it, driving can be challenging. From heavy traffic to bad weather, there's always something that keeps us on our toes. Driving is challenging, but car insurance doesn't have to be. This is Matt Robbins with Quality First Insurance, an Alera Group company. As an independent auto owner's insurance agency, we work with top-notch carriers to find the best coverage and the best price. Whether you're a seasoned driver or just starting out, Quality First has your back. 435-752-0101.
Hi, John Weiss here. Fall is such a beautiful but busy time of year. Whether you're juggling fall sports schedules, hitting the trails to hunt, or coordinating the annual tailgate, you need a vehicle that can do it all. During our Ram Power Days, you'll get $2,000 total bonus cash allowance when you purchase a brand new 2024 Ram heavy-duty tradesman truck. See dealership for details. This season, find a reliable ride at Heritage Auto, your hometown dealer with the biggest deals.
Today's hearing aid technology can improve not only your life, but the lives of the people who care about you. Once again, you'll be able to hear the reason for their laughter and understand conversations. Dr. Paul Danes will customize a hearing improvement program to meet your unique requirements, whatever they are. Call Dr. Danes for an appointment at 753-HERE and let him show you how.
Bring back what you've been missing. Bring back Cache Valley Hearing and Audiology.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Great weather this weekend, temperature-wise, cloud-wise, blue skies, and possibly record-setting heat for the last few days in September. With that in mind, a lot of folks might be headed out into the mountains for some camping, for some maybe hunting even, maybe just for a hike. Just a quick thing to know about. Franklin Basin parking lot area there as you leave the main road through Logan Canyon is closed and likely to remain closed throughout the weekend. You heard an update on this from Will during the news break, but just wanted to remind everyone that parking area is closed. I know when the weather's good, this time of year. That parking lot fills up Saturday morning and stays full until Sunday evening. But that Franklin Basin parking area is currently closed. As I understand it, the road through to those campsites and things like that is not closed, but that parking area just off of the road there with the public restrooms and more, currently closed and likely to remain closed through the weekend, according to Cache County Sheriff Chad Jensen. The reason, again, a hunter found a body while walking in the area and asked others to call 911. Once they got out of the canyon, they did. Deputies and paramedics were dispatched to the area this morning early and confirmed that the victim was deceased, and law enforcement has set up a crime scene investigation after this man's body was found Friday morning. Around 8:30 a.m. in the Franklin Basin parking lot. Cache County Sheriff said investigators from the State Crime Lab have also been called in to help. And one more time, that Franklin Basin parking lot, which was likely going to be fairly packed this weekend considering the weather and everybody trying to get one last one in before it turns and we have to start thinking about snow maybe. Well, maybe not for a while. That parking lot is closed while investigators gather evidence from what is being treated as a crime scene. So, and there's a chance that remains closed into or even through the weekend. Again, Franklin Basin Road will remain open to accommodate hunters, and there's people that run up there. There's the Bear 100 trail race happening. So that road will be open, the Franklin Basin Road. You can still access that from the highway there, but that parking area is going to be taped off. Victim's identity is not being released. It's an ongoing investigation, and Sheriff Jensen said there is no evidence at this point for anyone in the public to worry that they are in danger. But there's obviously an investigation necessary, and it's being treated as a crime scene. The body located again 8:30 a.m. this morning in the Franklin Basin parking lot, and that parking lot has been closed by law enforcement as that investigation, again working with the State Crime Lab as well, continues. So just something everyone should know about. I know, again, with the weather, I'm thinking about it myself. Everybody wants to get out, and who knows when it might be the last weekend, good weekend to do so. But that parking area being closed is going to throw a kink in a lot of plans, I'm sure. But that investigation might wrap up not until Sunday, the sheriff said. So into the weekend for sure, possibly through the weekend. That area is taped off as a crime scene after the body was found this morning. So full story on this, CacheValleyDaily.com if you'd like to read more. Also at CacheValleyDaily.com, back to the politics here. I get it, presidential years especially, but even in municipal years sometimes I get that, the campaigns get heated and people get emotionally invested in their favorite presidential candidate or state legislative candidate. We've even seen it with county council and municipal candidates where, a supporter or a group of supporters gets a little overly zealous and things get weird and it happens. I get it. And it's more likely to happen in a presidential year when more people are paying attention and there's, at least in our own minds, more at stake. Although I still argue there's more at stake in the municipal years than the presidential years because those local leaders make decisions that more directly impact your life. And yet more of us turn out for presidential elections. It's backwards. I'd like to see high turnout in every election cycle, but if we could only choose one for high turnout, I'd like it to be municipal cycles rather than presidential. But here we are, and maybe that's why we have the problems we do. But I'm not sure even what to say about this. I also understand the Utah Democratic Party has to take the opportunities they get as the underdogs in these races, by far in some races. They would be dumb not to take, as a party, to not take every opportunity they have to criticize their opponents, right? Legitimately, at least. And to their credit, Utah Democratic Party usually doesn't get illegitimate with their criticisms. People might not agree with them or respond to them, but their criticisms are usually understandable and credible. I'm not sure about this one. Charlie Schill has the story at CacheValleyDaily.com, posted today. The Utah GOP has a canvassing event planned. For those not familiar, canvassing is when you go out and canvass a neighborhood, knock doors, hang signs, talk to people who might be standing around in the park. And the goal is to get people engaged and thinking about the election and voting. And obviously, if the party doing the canvassing, they're going to try and talk you into voting for their candidates. That's a given. But today, the Utah Democratic Party has come out in condemnation of this Utah GOP planned major canvassing effort, which will take place October 3rd through the 6th. And the canvassing effort is actually going to load a bunch of Utah GOP volunteers up on buses, and they'll go knock doors in Nevada through the weekend. I'm not sure, but I think they also put them up in hotels, those that agree to stay for multiple days. Nevada is a swing state, and it's neck and neck on a lot of these races. There's also some high-profile races in Nevada that the National Republican Party cares about the outcome of, obviously. But the main goal here is to try and secure the delegates of Electoral College delegates of Nevada for Donald Trump, the GOP candidate. None of this is out of the ordinary. This happens every presidential year, including busing Utahns to Nevada. Democrats have bused Utahns to Colorado before. There were thousands of Utahns that got on buses to go to Colorado for Obama in 2008. So none of this is out of the ordinary. What's the issue for the Utah Democratic Party? What they've come out to condemn is that this October 3rd through the 6th event means that they'll be busing Utahns to Nevada to knock doors for Trump over the semi-annual LDS General Conference weekend. That's Utah Democrat Vice Chair. Let's see. Yeah, Utah Democratic Party Vice Chair Oscar Matta said, I'm deeply disappointed in the Utah GOP's decision to recruit volunteers to canvass for Donald Trump over the General Conference weekend. That was a prepared statement put out a couple of days ago. And Matta said, I think it's pronounced Mata. Mata said, as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints myself, I find it disrespectful to ask LDS volunteers to choose between an important faith event and politics. So the Utah Democrats saying, pick another weekend. Mata said, I understand canvassing events are part of an election cycle, but why this weekend? Why not pick another? And I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I also know no one's forced to do this. I also know that if someone wants to get on a bus and skip General Conference and go to Nevada and knock doors as a volunteer for a political party, I don't know that we should come down super hard on them. You might feel that's a bad decision if they're a member of the LDS faith, but I don't know. I feel like this is the Utah Democratic Party reaching a bit. Which they have to do. I get it. They're the underdogs. They got to take every opportunity they can to take a shot at their opponent, their most powerful opponent, the Republican Party. So the Utah Republican Party, again, plans to bus Utah volunteers to Nevada October 3rd through the 6th during the LDS General Conference that will take place in Salt Lake City October 5th and 6th. And according to the Utah GOP's Facebook page, they say this election cycle is critical. That's why we're organizing major door-knocking and canvassing trips, calling on every dedicated Republican to help turn battleground states red. The battleground states, at least in our neck of the woods, are Nevada and Arizona. Basically both up for grabs this year by either Harris or Trump, at least according to the polling. That's what it suggests. And the Republican Party will cover the costs of the bus transportation. Obviously, they're renting the buses and accommodations for Utahns who volunteer. And then you commit to this 3-day canvassing effort. Again, nothing out of the ordinary about this at all. The issue that Mata is raising is that the weekend they've chosen, the Utah GOP has chosen to do this, is conference weekend. Yeah, I don't know that this is the big deal that the Utah Democratic Party wants to make it. Maybe it is. Maybe this is offensive to a lot of people. I'm guessing not. Again, no one's forced to do this. No one's getting paid to do that. I mean, I guess you're kind of getting paid with free hotel room and free bus ride. But in Mata's defense, it is reasonable to say, look, it's General Conference weekend. Why not pick another one? So you don't make people, as Mata said, he said, the Utah GOP is making people choose between a big event for members of the LDS faith, General Conference, and volunteering to knock doors for a political candidate. And yeah, I don't know. Politics can be weird. Anyway, Utah Democratic Party, very unhappy with this decision. And Democratic Party Vice Chair Oscar Mata asking the Utah GOP to choose another weekend for this canvassing event, which, I mean, again, to be fair to Mata, they could. There's nothing about canvassing that demands it happen October 3rd through the 6th. That could happen a week later. Again, I don't know that a lot of Utahns are going to be upset about this, but that's obviously the goal of the Utah Democratic Party. So check it out. Full story on this from Charlie Schill at CacheValleyDaily.com. And we'll be back. And this is not the weirdest it will get here in Utah before November, I guarantee. We'll be back right after this.
610 AM, 102.1 FM, KVNU.
Overwhelmed by Social Security and Medicare options? October 2nd at 6 p.m., Adams Wealth Advisors and Senior Benefits Insurance Services invite you to a free seminar that'll simplify these crucial decisions. Experts Jaden May, National Social Security Advisor, and Sherry Crosby, licensed Medicare agent, will help optimize your Social Security benefits and help guide you through Medicare options and costs. October 2nd, 6 p.m., come learn your options with Social Security and Medicare. Go to adamswealthadvisors.com/SS to reserve your spot today. Understanding your options makes all the difference.
Does your dryer take longer to dry your clothes? It might be time to clean your dryer vent. Having a clean dryer vent shortens your drying time, increases the lifespan of your dryer, and decreases your risk of a house fire. Call a Logan-based business, The Duct Hunter, at 435-770-4813 for a quote and to schedule an appointment.
We are the Duct Hunter. Breathe better, save money, protect your home. We are the Duct Hunter.
Does your financial advisor take the time to really listen to you? Is your financial strategy personalized for you and your family? When you work with Edward Jones in Cache Valley, they focus on what's important to you. They'll help you create a personalized financial strategy backed by their advice, tools, and resources to help you reach your goals. And Edward Jones will partner to help your strategy stay on track no matter what happens. Call one of our 11 locations for Edward Jones in Cache Valley. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Welcome back to KVNU's For the People. Andy Morgan joining us in a few minutes here for the For the People movie show. We've got a lot to try and pack in this week. And we actually have new stuff to talk about, too. It was kind of a slow couple of weeks as summer movie season wound down and the fall movie season kind of stalled out for a bit, but it's back in full swing. Also, the streaming services. Fall is a big release time for Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon Prime. We also can laugh at some nerds. I'm one. We can say that here. That are very, very upset at how, just like they were very, very upset at how Star Wars changed and how what Disney did with the Marvel characters in there, which some of that criticism I get, but now they're very upset. Not at Star Wars this time. Not right now, at least. Not at Marvel and Disney. What they're upset about now is the latest season of Rings of Power on Amazon. So, yeah, they're just up in arms. I don't think you could make some of these people happy unless you stopped making stuff, which seems to be almost their goal. I don't like change. Don't watch it. Yeah. One final item to get to here before we transition into the world of entertainment and movies. The richest counties in Utah. U.S. News and World Report has an update on their report from last year showing, where the changes were. And as Utah continues to see huge population growth, which really hit a big stride in the middle of the pandemic, ironically, and hasn't slowed. So U.S. News and World Report and working with Smart Asset examined census data and some surveying, examined which counties are the wealthiest in Utah. And here's how it broke down. And some of these will surprise you. It surprised me. But the top 10 wealthiest counties in Utah, number 1, Summit County. Number 2, Wasatch County. Number 3, Morgan County. What has normally been an agricultural community just 12 minutes from Ogden became a suburb of Ogden and then became kind of a secret resort town for millionaires. That's what U.S. News and World Report says. That it's the number 3 wealthiest county in Utah now, and that was not the case by far in 2019. Following Morgan County, Davis County, Salt Lake County, Utah County, Tooele County, Juab County, and then Weber County and Washington County, rounding out the top 10 wealthiest counties in Utah. And that is based on income, not, things like property ownership and things like that. So recent data from University of Utah's Kempsey Gardner Policy Institute reported that the state ski industry, which brought in about $2 billion from non-resident visitors, may be a big contributor to this change. But they also say that doesn't fully explain it. There are maybe a lot of people who indeed have moved here because of our ski industry after discovering it, but something else is going on. What? They're not sure. But again, the big surprise there, the number 3 wealthiest county in Utah is formerly sleepy little agricultural county, Morgan County, about 12 minutes from Ogden, and it's been taken over by the millionaires. Apparently, though, I talked to some local officials there about this, and apparently that's not happening without some pain. Was not expecting to see them number 3 on the list. Hour 2.